Hey, good morning. It's Monday, October 30th. Welcome to it. Today we're going to have some clouds and then maybe some sun as well, but there's a small chance we may get some rain early on. High of 42 today. Later on tonight, some freezing rain possible. Freeze warning actually in effect overnight with a low down to 25. Then Tuesday, the dreaded S word. Possible chance for some rain, snow mix, light accumulation, they say, for trick-or-treating, 0.5 inches. Yep.
Oh, we almost made it. Almost made it to that Halloween with the 70-degree weather, but not going to happen.
Nope. It is going to be a high of 40, so it might just be just nasty weather. So just keep that in mind if you're doing trick-or-treating tomorrow. Anywhere around your communities.
Oh, that means I might not give out as much candy. Oh no.
Which I feel like is okay because I have just enough. I think I have like a big cauldron bowl thing.
Oh.
And we had some trick or treating yesterday that we did with family down in New Buffalo, and it was a little rainy too, so there weren't a lot of trick or treaters. So we had some overflow candy we were able to take home, and I think we'll have enough. But it's busy down in Niles at my house. So is it busy by you? Usually
it gets okay busy.
Okay.
It's a little busy. Last year it was good. The year before that, I think we had two
trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was miserable.
My gosh. Yeah. Good morning to Bill on our our Facebook page. You were going to talk to Bill later.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll talk to him shortly after news, maybe about the RC. There was an RC car shop.
It was like an emporium up there in St. Ignace. It was beautiful.
We'll have to talk about that later.
They were a Traxxas dealer. I like Proline, but whatever.
I have no idea what you're talking about either way. Cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's find out what's happening in the news. It's brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See GoMichigan.com. Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Chickaming Township is in line to receive a federal grant of $120,000 to improve roadway safety. U.S. Senators Gary Peters and Debbie Stabenow have announced 3 federal grants intended to improve road safety. They will help the affected communities develop safety action plans. The funding is being awarded through the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program, which funds road safety projects to prevent traffic deaths and injuries. Peters says the $860,000 in grants total will help communities across our state identify roadway safety concerns and take necessary steps to prevent future injuries and deaths. The Southwest Michigan Planning Commission will use a new state grant to work with 2 Berrien County communities to address shoreline issues. Commission Deputy Director Marcy Hamilton tells us the $51,000 from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy will enable the group to work with Benton Harbor officials on plans to reduce flooding when there's rain or high lake levels. It will also mean a zoning review in Bridgman. She notes the 2 cities are committed to facing coastal issues in a proactive way.
Benton Harbor and Bridgman both participated in a coastal leadership academy that was put on at the state level. And so Bridgman, after that leadership academy ended, they formed a shoreline resiliency committee.
Hamilton says part of the grant will help Bridgman prepare for future lake instability.
We're hiring a firm to review their zoning ordinances and offer recommendations of how they could improve those to better protect the shoreline and also other water resources in the community.
For example, Bridgman could help prevent erosion by restricting development right along the lakeshore. In Benton Harbor, Hamilton says the grant will be used to plan for greenways of reducing flooding, like with the use of rain gardens. Lakeshore Public Schools is planning to open the new Cone Field House to walkers next month. It says the upper floor will be open for anyone to use from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting November 13th and continuing through March 27th. The new field house walking hours replace walking hours that were offered at the high school. Work on the Cone Field House was completed in 2020, but plans to open it to the public were delayed due to COVID. The field house includes a 1/8 mile of track that overlooks the basketball and volleyball courts. The Bob and Betty Cohn and the Cohn Bancroft Family Foundation made major donations to make the field house possible. And this is the story Johnny's going to check me on. The St. Joe Kickers Sports Club is preparing to celebrate its 70th anniversary. The club was founded in 1953 when newly arrived German immigrants, lonely in their new country, met to play soccer at Kiwanis Park in St. Joseph. And over time, the group grew and moved to different venues. Club sports director Chris Hawk, okay, tells us there was a whole German community in Berrien County coming out of World War II.
I think it's
amazing that this club was built by these people that obviously life couldn't have handed worse cards to. A lot of them escaped to the Soviets after the parts of Germany were parceled off to them. And we even had some prisoners of war that had been brought over by the Americans. I think there was a camp in Bridgman, and they decided, you know what, this is a pretty good place to live.
St. Joe Kickers Club. You think it's Chris Hawk?
Hawk.
Okay.
I just call him Chris.
So. Okay. Chris said that. And the St. Joe Kickers Club, a sports club, adopted English as its official language in 1968 as the focus shifted more to sports than to culture. And in the 1970s, it acquired its own indoor facility in Royalton Township and now has 315 adult members and children. The 70th anniversary celebration is planned for this coming Saturday with traditional German food and live music. Everyone is welcome to attend. It's $25 for non-members, and we have RSVP information at our website.
Nice.
You know a lot about the Kickers Club.
I do.
Your family was involved.
Yeah,
there.
My family was part of the founding members.
That's right.
So, they spent a lot of time there, and so did I.
Yeah.
And I still, we'll go there on a regular basis.
70th anniversary.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's pretty big, man.
It's very cool.
Still
I know my kids have played a lot there.
Yeah.
I've got tons of their AstroTurf, the little black grains at my house.
That I will say
with everybody.
That indoor soccer field
awesome.
that they have now is sweet.
Yeah.
What we had growing up was smaller.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun playing on that inside and outside.
And you never know what you're going to get when you get into the parking lot. In between the parking lot and the soccer facility, every now and again, you'll run into the baby goats, and they are so super cute.
See, I don't know if I've seen the baby goats.
They are super, super cute.
That must be a new thing. Maybe Chris is needing some help mowing the lawn.
Well, he's got a couple of goats to follow him around. They are the cutest thing ever.
Great idea.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll talk about sports, maybe some football, and maybe some other football as well.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't know if there's the two kinds of football in the sports report or not. But Dave Wolf will have that for you here in just a few minutes. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
Israeli troops with armored tanks entering Gaza over the weekend. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying Israel's now in an expanded second phase of the war. We talked to Zur, an Israeli peace activist and sommelier turned soldier, who says after the Hamas October 7th attack, he had no choice but to pick up a rifle.
Right now, it's not about the people of Gaza or occupation or anything like that. It's about taking the terror out of Gaza and give them a chance, because right now Hamas is ISIS, is controlling the Gaza Strip.
Power and communications cut off in Gaza, where Save the Children says the number of children reported killed in just 3 weeks has surpassed the annual number of children killed across the world's conflict zones since 2019. Jeep makers Stellantis and Ford now have a tentative contract deal with the United Auto Workers Union. General Motors holding out, and over the weekend, the UAW expanding its strike against GM, hitting a major engine plant. I'm Dave Packer, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
Week 8 of the NFL season had the LA Chargers over the Chicago Bears 30-13. Justin Herbert had 3 touchdown passes and 298 yards for the Chargers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to your morning.
Hello.
Yeah, it's a good weekend, everybody. Did you do anything fun? Let us know. Bill, by the way, says, as you mentioned, that RC, car isn't RC just cars, or RC all kinds of
there were
boats,
cars, there were boats,
planes.
there were planes. I had my eye on a couple of hydroplanes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Bill says it's a nice place. Yeah, it was KC Hobbies and Toys, and so we had already gone to eat.
Mhm.
And we cruised the town just to see what it looked like, St. Ignace.
Yeah.
And then bought some fudge, which was
Of course,
great.
got to get fudge.
And then we went into their outdoor wear store, which is basically all the cool stuff, KUHL, cool stuff in there.
Cool. Yeah.
Went for the sales rack and
Nice.
didn't buy anything, but
No?
just looked. Yeah, they were happy to have us in.
Yeah, because the sale for that is still a little pricey, but it lasts a long time.
It does last a long time. It's nice. So then we're driving. It's like, okay, why do you want to go to check in on the hotel? Yeah, sure. And then I slam on the brakes and I saw an RC car shop, and this place was just chock full of stuff. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Bill, by the way, says he was racing his last outdoor race on Saturday. How'd you do? Did you win?
Outdoor race.
Because last time I believe you got, what was it, six out of 100 and some odd?
I think
people?
it was 6th out of 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. Let's see. So
and you stayed in, where was it, Trout Lake?
Yeah, we stayed at it was Birch Lodge and Motel. And there were a lot of birch trees around there.
Very nice.
In Trout Lake. But
Bill said he got fourth.
Oh, cool. Good job, Bill. You're not going to be able to see this very well, but you can see everything in there.
Okay.
Is an RC car.
Dang, that's a lot of RC cars, man.
Everything across the top here. I'll zoom in a little bit.
Dang.
You can see in the lower corner there, that orange thing.
Yeah.
That's a hydroplane.
Ooh.
And I had my eyes on that hydroplane because how cool would that be? Yeah, it was only $170. How cool would that 175? How cool would that be to have an orange hydroplane remote control?
That would
they
be
had
pretty neat.
They had some of the, the thing that Bill races is 110 scale.
Okay.
And so the tires on that are sometimes, yay big.
Yeah.
But they had some trucks in there and the tires were like that big.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I mean, I can geek out on that stuff. It was a lot of fun. They had
$170. Did it look pretty high quality? Like it would last you a while? Or do you feel like you'd crash it the first time?
Well, both could happen. It could be high quality and I could crash it on the first run. But no, I didn't even ask him to bring it down because I knew if I brought it down, it'd be in my pocket.
Because that's what they say, like once you touch something, you're more likely to buy it.
But I was thinking about Bill. I was saying, okay, maybe I can strike up a conversation with the gentleman behind the counter, and because he was just sitting there just doing some stuff and blah blah blah. And I said, "Oh, you race it all?" And he gave me this. I used to.
Oh,
yeah. There was a whole story behiin that. I'm like, I'm not even going there.
The lights went down low, and he told you there was a montage of
I used to.
All right, let's get back to the show here.
All right.
Shine this afternoon with high temperatures getting up around 42. Tonight, partly cloudy skies near the lakeshore will stay in the low 30s. Inland, we'll see some upper 20s. And then tomorrow, rain snow mix and a high near 40. As we head into the end of the week, we'll be back up into the 50s. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com. We're on our Facebook page and our YouTube. And shout out to my mother, who I'm not sure if she's watching this live. So every once in a while she does. But I'm wearing a pink shirt because she said, it's real men wear pink. She's like, I haven't noticed you wearing pink shirts very often.
Oh.
Why aren't you wearing them? So I'm wearing the pink shirt because it's still October. By the way, Real Men Wear Pink, if you want to check out more info on that and see a lot of other great people wearing pink shirts and supporting the cause, go check it out at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Did you steal a pink shirt yet out of the box over there?
I have not.
All right, we'll get you one.
I have not.
Lots of things to talk about here this morning.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably do a quick rest in peace to Friends star Matthew Perry.
Oh, yeah.
That was sad.
That was.
We saw that over the weekend. Emmy-nominated actor Matthew Perry died at the age of 54. Actor was found dead at his Los Angeles home, according to coroner's records. Investigation into how he died is ongoing. It may take weeks because before his actual cause of death is determined. But his body was found in a hot tub at his home according to unnamed sources, which was, just tragic.
Mm-hmm.
There were some reports that he was playing pickleball earlier in the day, came home, gave his assistant some assignments. When the assistant came back, they found him dead.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Young, 54 years old.
So we'll keep our eyes on that and see what happens. I'm sure that as time goes by, more stuff will come out of that. But that's a bummer.
Also, United Auto Workers strike.
Almost done?
Well, it seems like it. Jeep maker Stellantis reached a tentative contract agreement with United Auto Workers over the weekend on Saturday, and still they're escalating strike tactics against General Motors. They added another strike for the General Motors in Tennessee. But the Stellantis deal, which still must be ratified by union members, as does the Ford deal, leaves only GM without an agreement with the union.
Huh.
Yeah. So the union walked out Saturday night at a GM factory in Spring Hill, Tennessee. That's part of their effort to increase pressure on the company. This is a new set of tactics the union is doing. It's not just like we're all going to walk out all at once. It's we're going to trickle this pain and target strategically your most profitable firms, outfits, manufacturing facilities until we get what we want.
Right.
And so they've got 2 out of the 3. The third one is getting tougher strike tactics right now. The Stellantis deal mirrors the one reached with Ford. The union says the contract also saved jobs at various factories, even some that had planned to close. GM says it's disappointed with the additional strike at Spring Hill, and says that they have bargained in good faith with the union. They still want to reach a deal. They still want to do that as soon as possible. We'll wait and see.
It'll be interesting if 2 out of the 3 have the deal, and then that moves all the way to having it good to go and people are going back to work, and then GM's still left out there without any kind of deal. You're going to see probably a lot of those workers going to other plants and other places, and GM may not recover from that.
It's possible.
Very well.
Yeah, it's possible. So about 14,000 UAW workers who were on strike at the 2 Stellantis assembly plants in Michigan and Ohio were ordered to go back to work. Get rid of your picket signs, go back to work, and we'll get all the details worked out in these agreements.
I was talking with a car dealer just the other day about this strike, and they had reached a deal with Ford, and he's just saying, okay, well, we haven't seen anything showing up as far as on the dealer side just yet, but they're already getting
as far as shortages,
and things like that. But they have had certain things where they'll say, okay, well, that order that you were going to get, not going to happen. We're delay that. So you're just going to get the next year, the 2024s. But he mentioned too about some of these companies are probably going to get rid of certain lines of vehicles, like a really popular, SUV or truck or something like that. With a lot of this manufacturing that's happening, they may decide to kind of slim down their production on a lot of things and say, okay, well, we're only going to go with our top 5 selling vehicles and get rid of some of those other ones.
Yeah, the model lines may take a hit on that.
Yeah.
And then you think about availability of parts for repairs. That's going to be tough too.
And there was
it takes a while for these things to work through the pipeline.
Yeah, and there was a while back I heard of chip shortages happening again in some cases. So it's all happening all at once. It all seems to be. And what's going to happen for the consumer? We'll probably have more expensive vehicles again. Prices will probably start to go up on those. So it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun when you're trying to get a new vehicle.
Contract negotiations.
Yeah, so let's talk about the contract negotiation that may or may not happen with Jim Harbaugh.
Surprised to see this. Another piece coming out over the weekend. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh reportedly was in line for a new contract.
Yeah,
that would make him the highest paid head coach in the Big Ten. That was before the sign stealing scandal broke out. And who did they play this weekend?
Nobody. They had a bye week. Yeah.
Michigan did?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a bye week. So they had a lot of time to spend with the folks at the NCAA with all the investigation things that were happening. They had time to talk with them a little bit and see what's going on. But there was talks, probably last year when there was that floating around of him kind of playing with the possibility of going to the NFL. And there was talks that they would just kind of give him one of those lifetime contracts, kind of that like Nick Saban is one of those people that has one of those.
Yeah.
But not going to happen?
Apparently not. According to a report that we found in the Wall Street Journal, citing a person familiar with the matter, Michigan brass have rescinded that potential contract offer. ESPN also dug in onto this, and they said that the Wolverines' contract push accelerated the week of October 8 prior to the NCAA investigation beginning. And according to ESPN, the situation is more on hold pending the NCAA review. The Wall Street Journal report says school officials do not comment. They wouldn't comment on this report, but the news is just the latest in what's become quite a fascinating tenure for Harbaugh at Michigan. He's been feeling quite a bit of pressure at Michigan, seeing his own pay cut during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with all this, because we kind of talked about it before, is that there's, the possibility that door that is opening for the NFL is looking a lot nicer when he's looking at also what's happening with the possible chance of the door closing with college football. But it's going to be interesting if, say Michigan wins the national championship this year. You would expect as a Michigan fan that, okay, they want to keep Harbaugh around.
Yeah.
He's done well. He's been a good coach. They've had winning seasons. They've been pretty much on the cusp of winning the national championship the past couple of years, but to not get anything and then him just go to the NFL. And then, what happens? He goes to the NFL. Did then Michigan get in trouble for some of this other stuff? And then he's left okay. He doesn't get any consequences.
Great question. The NFL saw some blog postings on the NFL's official website saying the NFL is unlikely to be a safe harbor for Harbaugh to escape what could be substantial NCAA discipline. League sources are saying that there's a possibility Harbaugh would need to serve some or all of any possible suspension that he could face for the college activities if he returns to the pros.
And that leaves him kind of in limbo, because you got all these teams that in the NFL that would be going after him or wanting him as a coach. But do they want that extra controversy following him when they're trying to get a coach? Of course, they're getting a coach because they want to rebuild their team. Do they want that hovering over them?
It could raise the pressure somehow to get the NCAA to do what it's going to do. And the reason you would want that is because, okay, if Harbaugh's going to suffer some sort of suspension or penalty, that he's going to do that before he can fully join a team, then okay, let's do it. Let's get it out of the way. Let's know the commodity that I've got to serve here and get it out of the way. But if the NCAA drags it on, then maybe that could be even more of a penalty.
What if they drag it on for 6 to 8 months or a year? I mean, does he have to completely sit out of all sports, and then he loses out on some of those key jobs? Because I will say this, there's a good chance, a possible chance that the Bears opening will happen, because they always need new coaches, because you pretty much go 2 years and then change them out. They're not very good right now. So there's a chance that coach gets fired, and Harbaugh used to play there. Could he coach there? Another team he used to play at, Indianapolis, they already have a new coach. Who else did he play for? The Chargers. They're good. They've got their coach figured out, I think. So the ideal places that he would want to go possibly could be open this next season.
Well,
I don't know what it would be next year.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of a cloud hanging over the head.
Hey, they got a game this weekend. They had the bye week, so he probably spent a lot of time on the phone and probably in some meetings with the people from the NCAA.
Sure.
Yeah.
Buying them cheeseburgers.
Yeah, maybe. I think, he was definitely paying for the cheeseburgers. He might be paying for a lot more cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see. We'll definitely keep our eye on this, because this, of course, is a developing story. But we'll catch you up on some other things that are going on in sports, news, and your Bloomberg Market Minute is next.
At Sturgis Bank, it's our people that make the difference. Meet Jen Postello, mortgage lender for Van Buren County.
My husband and I own a Christmas tree farm that we've had at our house for over 30 years. Red Creek Tree Farms in Lawrence. I've had a lot of my clients that I've worked with have come out to see me and buy a tree and take a ride on the tractor, and it's a fun family thing for people to do. I've been in banking my entire career. I've been in it 40 years now. I've been in South Haven the majority of that time. The people that work here are wonderful, and a lot of them I've worked with in the past. Love the employees here and the products that we have to offer. What's really fun is because I've been doing this for so long, is that I've worked with so many people several times where they've bought a second home and then they've refinanced, and now I'm working with their kids and their grandkids because I've been doing it so long. So that's really fun.
Sturgis Bank. Let's grow home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
You are ready to travel. And by travel, we're talking capital T, travel. It all begins at South Bend International Airport. Surprised? Over 250,000 of your neighbors do it every year, non-stop to locations around the country and connections to the rest of the world. Time to scratch the travel itch at South Bend International Airport. Easy parking, shorter lines, no big city traffic. Travel today at flysbn.com. Happy starts here.
Breakfast, bacon and eggs, sausage, toast.
Let us know your thoughts on the Harbaugh thing. If you're a fan of Michigan, which I know a lot of people are, to see what happens next. I mean, what's the best case scenario that you'd like to see? I mean, I'd like one, they wrap up the investigation, they figure it all out, and if it's something like, a 1-year ban from football, they did it with Sean Payton, who's now the coach for the Denver Broncos. They did that with him where he pretty much was banned from all football. It was like, I think the year that he had off, I think he coached his son's high school football team.
Mm-hmm.
But he was banned from taking any college jobs or professional jobs because of some a lot of scandal that they had going on with the New Orleans Saints.
Well, this NFL blog that I was looking at cites that back in 2011, Ohio State quarterback Terrell Pryor was facing a 5-game suspension for trading memorabilia for cash and tattoos when he declared for the NFL supplemental draft. Do you remember this?
Yep.
Commissioner Roger Goodell upheld the 5-game suspension, saying in a then statement, "This smacks of a calculated effort to manipulate our eligibility rules." Not the same thing, but similar, right? So what if Harbaugh gets some sort of penalty? Again, probably have to serve it out somehow before an NFL team would fully let him go on the field.
It's too bad he can't get one of those like NIL deals and get somebody to pay for all that stuff. Why couldn't he have gotten like an endorsement from that cheeseburger company?
Yeah, right. I wonder if it was an olive burger.
Yeah. These are brought to you by McDonald's.
Maybe during the hearings he could just do that sponsorship.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I need a minute to discuss with my counsel.
When I have a problem recollecting exactly what I did, I like to dig into a cheeseburger.
I like to reach for an ice cold Coca-Cola from this burger place.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with your Bloomberg Market Minute. In a few minutes from now, we'll hear from Congressman Bill Heisinger, I believe.
Let's see if he's
scheduled to chat with us a little
he's got
after
the phone
7:30.
number. He's got the phone number for the hotline. Yeah, the bat phone. So if the fire people couldn't get through, maybe he can't get through.
I don't think I have the phone number for the bat phone.
Sure you do. I think you gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
I think we have it. I don't know. Anyway. So anyone watching the stream, if you have any questions for Congressman Heisinger that you think we ought to pose, I think we're going to go after some of the obvious stuff. We're going to talk about, he's at a Farm Bureau breakfast.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about farm stuff, what issues are affecting you and what farmers and what's the prospects of getting a farm bill through this year. Then also talking about all the work that's just stacked up for the House of Representatives.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The honey-do list.
Yeah. All right, let's check in on our Bloomberg Market Minute.
workers walked out of GM plants in Spring Hill, Tennessee on Saturday evening. GM is now the only one of the companies that does not have a deal with the union. The Stellantis deal includes a 25% hourly pay raise plus cost of living allowances over the more than 4-year deal matching Ford's agreement. Apple's final product unveiling of the year kicks off today when the company is set to update the Mac computer coming up on its 40th anniversary. Today's online-only event is dubbed Scary Fast. Bloomberg has reported the company is preparing fresh MacBook Pro laptops and iMac desktops. Futures are higher this morning after a mixed close for Wall Street on Friday. The S&P 500 extended a slide from its July peak to 10%, entering a correction. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning, just past 7:30. Today we're going to have some sunny skies, and then clouds will roll in and bring us some rain early on. High 42. Clouds tonight. Freeze warning in effect overnight. Low down to 25. Let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here are some of the stories we're following this morning. Around 5,000 Berrien County homes that currently have no access to high-speed internet will soon have it now that the Michigan High-Speed Internet Office has approved a $27 million grant for Midwest Energy and Communications to roll out broadband. Berrien County has been working for a few years now to expand broadband availability, creating a broadband committee that engaged internet service providers and township governments to figure out what's the problem and how do we fix it. Major work to roll out fiber will take place starting later this year, and it will go through next year. A side benefit will be the new fiber being laid by MEC will have to pass through some areas that already have service, thereby giving residents a new option for internet provider. The Avenue Family Network is changing its name to Caring Connection. Chief Strategy Officer Robin McGinnis tells us the new name will take effect Friday. The Avenue Family Network runs several human services programs in Berrien County that include adult foster care, senior abuse prevention, and guardianship for the disabled. McGinnis says they'll roll out the new name that fits their service following their third annual spaghetti dinner coming up on November 2nd. And the League of Women Voters of Berrien and Cass counties has announced it's hosting a town hall meeting at 6 o'clock tonight featuring Berrien County Clerk Sharon Tyler. According to the League, Tyler's presentation will include what citizens need to know about the latest developments and changes in voting procedures in preparation for the upcoming election in Berrien County, which is a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
Elections, the off-year elections will be a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, mark it on your calendars.
The league says members of the public are invited to attend in person or watch on Zoom. We have all the information about how to register and the links that you need to go to on our website at WSJM.com. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll catch up with Congressman Huizenga here in just a few minutes. He's having breakfast right now.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't...
Eggs, bacon, sausage, maybe?
We don't...
hash browns? Toast.
Eat your food, chew, make sure he doesn't talk with his mouth full.
No.
We don't want that.
No.
But we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
Israel launching increased ground attacks against Hamas over the weekend. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Tel Aviv.
There is no question that what Israel is doing over the last few days is ramped up both in the number of airstrikes and in the number of troops on the ground. But in terms of committing the entirety of its force, hundreds of thousands of people just kind of walking over that border at the same time, we're not seeing that yet.
Increasing anti-Semitic attacks, hundreds storming a Russian airport, some waving Palestinian flags and anti-Semitic slogans, surging onto the tarmac after a flight arrived from Tel Aviv. At Cornell University, a series of online threats against the school's Jewish community. President Trump back under a gag order in his federal election tampering case. The judge had paused the gag order while Trump appeals, but she reinstated it after concluding he threatened his ex-chief of staff, Mark Meadows. The LA County Medical Examiner says it could be a few weeks before a cause of death is determined in the weekend death of Friends star Matthew Perry. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Week 8 of the NFL season had the LA Chargers over the Chicago Bears 30-13. Justin Herbert had 3 touchdown passes and 298 yards for the Chargers. Elsewhere, it was New Orleans over the Indianapolis Colts 38-27 and Minnesota beat Green Bay 24-10. Minnesota losing starting quarterback Kirk Cousins to a torn Achilles tendon. Monday Night Football tonight has the Detroit Lions hosting Las Vegas Raiders at 8:15. The pregame show on Rock 107 WIRX is at 7:10. NHL tonight, the Red Wings are at the New York Islanders at 7:30, and the Blackhawks are on the road at the Arizona Coyotes at 10 o'clock. Tonight in the NBA, it's the Bulls at the Indiana Pacers at 7 o'clock, and the Pistons are on the road at Oklahoma City at 8 o'clock. Game 3 of the World Series is tonight at 8 o'clock, with Arizona hosting Texas. That series is tied at 1-1. And in college basketball, last night on exhibition play, number 9 Tennessee beat number 4 Michigan State 89-88. With sports, I'm Dave Wolf.
Brendan Heenan, owner of Autobahn Imports in St. Joseph, is hiring a new mechanic.
Are you tired of working in a large volume, high-stress environment and navigating workplace politics? Then let's talk about the benefits of a smaller shop. Are you a little bit obsessed with European autos or willing to learn and have experience working on U.S. or Japanese vehicles? Let's connect.
Apply at Autobahn Imports on Niles Road next to Ace Hardware in St. Joseph. Autobahn Imports is an equal opportunity employer.
Autobahn Imports, obsessed with European auto repair.
Guys, we've all been touched by someone who has or is dealing with breast cancer. This is Vale Harding, president of Vale Rubber Works in St. Joe. I support Real Men Wear Pink because if getting an early diagnosis means one mom, sister, daughter, or wife is saved, then we've done our job. We have all been affected in some way by this disease. Please encourage the women in your life to get a mammogram. Early detection is so critical to better long-term health. The team at Vale Rubber Works is proud to support Real Men Wear Pink.
Talking to Ryan and Jamie from Full Circle Cafe in Stevensville. How'd you get your name?
We grew up in Stevensville and the surrounding areas, and when it was time to go explore other opportunities, we did that. But this has always been home and continues to be our home, and it's truly a full circle moment to have this restaurant and this opportunity.
Well, tell us a little bit about your food.
Our dishes are seasonally inspired. We try to have things that are going to warm you up, warm the soul, and we also like to use as much local produce as we can in our dishes.
Full Circle Cafe and Espresso Bar at the corner of West John Beers Road and St. Joseph Avenue in downtown Stevensville.
Every day, countless homes suffer from the cold with old, inefficient furnaces. But you can make a difference with the Boss Freedom Plan. For $99 a month, you can give a brand new furnace a loving home where warmth and comfort thrive. $99 per month includes a new furnace, annual maintenance, all future repairs, and more. Book your free consultation so we can help you find the perfect furnace companion to warm your home and heart this fall. Boss Services, home of the Freedom Plan. Now available in your neighborhood. Subject to credit approval, call for details.
WSJM Weather You Can Depend On is sponsored by Boss Services, raising the standard for heating, cooling, and electrical in Southwest Michigan. Boss Services.
Cloudy skies with still a little bit of rain for the first part of today. We'll see some sunshine this afternoon with high temperatures getting up around 42. Tonight, partly cloudy skies near the lakeshore will stay in the low 30s. Inland, we'll see some upper 20s. And then tomorrow, rain snow mix and a high near 40. As we head into the end of the week, we'll be back up into the 50s. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Well, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
We got a special guest that is joining us on the phone this morning. Ooh, he's hanging out.
Oh, we got some noise there. That must be Congressman Bill Huizenga. Hello, Congressman.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you on the air with us this morning. So you're in Southwest Michigan this morning. You're getting ready to head back to Washington, D.C., but you got a few folks to see today. You're going to start out at the Farm Bureau. So let's start there. What are you doing at the Farm Bureau? Maybe you can give us an update as well on what's happening with the Farm Bill back in Washington, D.C.
Sure. Happy to do that. And actually, I was at Lake Michigan Community College yesterday. Doing a tour of the Welsh Center, ag related, obviously, with what goes on with grape growing in Southwest Michigan, and basically this is the Berrien County Farm Bureau's annual meeting where they get together. They invite the local elected officials to come and sort of give an update of what's happening in Lansing and in Washington. As you said, this is a big year where we have. Farm Bill is up for reauthorization. We're going to be continuing to watch how specialty crops are treated. A lot of this has been geared, meaning a lot of farm policy has been geared to those big cash crops, and corn and soybean and wheat and those kinds of things. And Michigan, which is so diverse, everything from fruit, stone fruits, and blueberries and grapes. Asparagus, all those different kind of off the grid sort of agricultural products, they don't always get the attention that they need. And that's one of our jobs, is to try to make sure that it maintains a profile. But it's also, how much of the food processing that goes on here in Michigan. We've got a tremendous amount of that. So it's going to be everything from crop insurance to dealing with something that this is kind of an obscure thing. It's called the TAP program. And what we're trying to do is make sure that these federal programs are as flexible enough and actually meet the needs of the agricultural community, rather than just being sort of this formula that nobody can really fit their actual business into when we do have disasters and those kinds of things.
Now, you're talking about the Farm Bill, and as you mentioned and point out, it's a big bill. It encompasses a lot of different things. And we just saw that U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow has said, probably not going to get it done this year, probably going to need an extension. What's your thought on that? Should it be extended? Should some kind of compromise be reached before that?
Well, you may have noticed things in Washington have been a little wonky.
A little bit.
Yeah, I've only been half jokingly saying that I'm a little tired of living these unexplored corners of the civics textbook.
Boy,
that's certainly been happening this past year. But look, in an ideal world, we would be able to get this farm bill done. One of the problems is we are behind in the appropriations process. Now, the House put us 3 weeks further behind by going through the extrication of Speaker McCarthy and finally ending up with Speaker Johnson. Now, we lost 3 weeks on that process. But the truth is the Senate hasn't done this in the entire time that I've been in Congress. The Senate has not actually completed the appropriations process itself. Yeah. And so what we're having to do is we're going back into Washington this week and next week to finish up those appropriations bills. And again, granted, they're late, they're behind, and we have government funding that is going to end on November 17. So the focus is getting those appropriations process going, those bills out. If we need to do some sort of short-term bridge funding for government, so be it. But we need to tackle the underlying policies that really drive a lot of those appropriations bills as well, and the ag bill is one of those. So she might be right. I wish it wasn't the case, but we're going to be pushing hard to get it done as fast as we possibly can.
Understood. And honestly, it was just the House of Representatives, and your committees could still meet, and the Senate unaffected by this, except that they couldn't get any past legislation out of the House of Representatives. So shouldn't she and the others been able to get something pushed forward in this time?
Yeah, yes, that is a fair point. That the Senate did continue, or should have been able to continue to work on these issues. But I honestly, I don't pretend to understand the star chamber called the U.S. Senate.
Right.
I mean, it's an enigma wrapped in a mystery inside a riddle, oftentimes. So. But yes, they needed to be able to move ahead. I wish they had done so, but honestly, that's part of the problem and why the whole process in Washington is so broken. And again, while I think the motion to vacate the Speaker's chair, which has never been done, right, to toss Speaker McCarthy, while I believe it shouldn't have happened, it did, but it did because so many people are frustrated with this very broken system. And how do we get it back on track? It's not just the appropriations process, but that is a huge part of it. It's the spending, it's the debt that has accumulated because of this sloppy bookkeeping that the federal government's been doing.
Talking about some of the enigmas and mysteries, you've got a new House Speaker, Mike Johnson, and that's his name, right?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Who is this guy?
Saturday Night Live put out there. Yes, it is Mike Johnson.
All right. So Speaker Johnson, how successful is he going to be with preventing a government shutdown in mid-November?
Well, it's really going to be up to the members, right? And what we have seen so far And what I've been literally praying for is a spirit of cooperation that needs to return, because as a Republican, we have a lot of the same goals and direction that we want to bring the government, but we've got factions within our party that are disagreeing on the tactics. And look, we lost 3 weeks of solid work that was intended to go into this, to be leading up to this November 17 ending of the continuing resolution. I do not like funding government through continuing resolutions. This is a horrible way of doing it, because all you've done is you've taken your policy, good, bad, and otherwise, and extended it without any weeding of the garden, as I like to say, since we're on agriculture anyway. That's a perfect analogy, I guess.
Very nice.
But, it's our duty to go in and figure out what are those programs that are working, what's not working so well. Let's do more of what is working. Let's get rid of the stuff that's not working, that's wasteful or duplicative, or whatever it might be. And that is something that the members are going to have to kind of get over themselves. We've got a lot of bruised egos and pinched fingers, and hopefully Mike is going to be able to move beyond that. But you have to be willing to be led, and frankly, we've had some people who haven't been willing to be led in down the direction that we need to go. So I'm hopeful that he's able to do it. He's got great relationships across the conference, and frankly, on the other side of the aisle as well. It's going to be very hard to demonize this guy. He's just a very, very nice man, but he's also very smart and very competent.
Talking with Congressman Bill Huizenga, who's in Berrien County this morning for a Farm Bureau breakfast. Congressman, Israel and Ukraine, emergency supplemental bills or emergency financial aid bills for them. Prognosis on that, and where's your support?
Yeah, and I was actually on a conference with Speaker Johnson, conference call last night, and he has announced that we are going to be moving ahead with a standalone Israel package, about $14.5 billion worth of aid, most of it being military equipment and hardware that is going over there. For example, like the Iron Dome, and that has been something the Senate has not wanted to do. They've wanted to link it up with Ukraine. I think the Ukraine funding is far more. First of all, it's a lot more money. Second of all, it's more controversial, and it's become more controversial because we need to have an understanding as taxpayers and as representative of taxpayers of where our money is going. And this was suggested as well about the Israel aid, having an accounting of where that $14.5 billion is going, what specifically it's being used for. And that's been far more attainable in previous years because of the money and the help that has gone to Israel. Israel is not saying don't give us troops; they're just saying help us defend ourselves. Right? The accounting on the Ukraine funding has been less transparent. Lots of accusations of corruption and those kinds of things, and some of that is founded. I think some of it is unfounded. And we have a duty and a responsibility, no matter where that money is going, to be able to explain to the hardworking taxpayers that allow this to happen, where their money is going. And I think you're going to see a robust debate about Ukraine funding. I think there will be some sort of package, but there's an urgency on this Israel package first that many of us are recognizing.
For certain, an urgency on both of those. And where do you see this going if the House does a standalone Israel? Is the Senate going to accept that?
Well, I mean, that's going to be a question for the Senate, and an interesting one. Would they rather delay funding going into Israel to fight over transparency and accountability in the Ukraine funding? Or would they rather help Israel defend themselves in the shorter run? And you got to understand, I mean, all of these weapon systems and this ammunition and all those things that are going to both countries, those take time. It takes time. It's not like you flip the switch and suddenly magically you have cruise missiles or Iron Dome or other munitions appearing. This takes time to get that ramped up, and going into the stocks is going to allow some of that bridge, but we've got to get back to the manufacturing. In my worldview, I would rather move ahead. While it might not be ideal for them wanting both of those funding packages, I would rather move ahead with that Israeli funding and aid package than to have both of them dead in the water.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that. Political question time. Mike Pence getting out over the weekend. Surprise?
Not entirely. Look, Vice President Pence has been a good friend, and in fact, he at the end of the campaign last year, he came and did an event for me in Kalamazoo. A good man who is rock solid on so many things, but he just was not catching any kind of traction.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be the first of a number of folks that are going to have to really take a hard look at themselves in the mirror and say, do I really have an opportunity here to become the nominee? And I think many of those folks are going to realize the answer to that is no.
All right. Congressman Bill Huizenga, thanks for joining us this morning. Anything else that you need to mention?
Hey, no, we're on the road here today and a little bit tomorrow before we're headed back to Washington, D.C. And it's been kind of nuts. All of our scheduled events back here in the district have been scrubbed over the last month or so, just with changes in the calendar. So trying to get back on track and make sure that we are out and on the road and seeing people as much as we possibly can. So
we appreciate
Benton Harbor, St. Joe area today, earlier, and then off to Kalamazoo, and I'll end up back in Holland. And but it's great. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to connect with folks through your show.
Yeah, absolutely. You got about 12 hours on the road seeing constituents today?
That is in fact the case. I got picked up at 7. I'm getting dropped off at 7:00 tonight at my son's football banquet. He's a senior in high school, and so I'll actually get home. Hopefully, missing no more than the first quarter of the Lions Monday Night Football game.
Oh man!
So let's go Lions!
Let's go Lions!
I know there's a few Chicago fans listening to you all, but that tough game for them last night. But with Fields out, but. That's quite a story they've got with their quarterback as well.
Well, we appreciate what you do, and we certainly appreciate what the Farm Bureau is doing. So please extend our appreciation to them this morning as you enjoy their breakfast. That's got to be the best place to have breakfast with the Farm Bureau.
Hey, if you can't get a good breakfast from those that actually produce it, they're in the wrong business.
All right. Well, thank you, Congressman. We appreciate your time today.
Good to be with you guys. Talk to you soon.
Dave Hamlin from Serene Water Gardens talks about the importance of fall maintenance.
Water features are not high maintenance. They're low maintenance water features, but there are critical maintenance points that you have to address in order for them to stay low maintenance. If you've got leaves falling in your pond, or you're turning your pond off and on all the time so it's not filtering properly, or maybe you don't even have the proper filtration in your pond, those are things that can get taken care of. And by doing so, we can make sure that your water feature stays beautiful, low maintenance, and not a headache for you. When people think of water features, we don't want them to think of these just nasty, muddy, high maintenance eyesores, because they really don't have to be, and they shouldn't be. Part of what I want to do is just help educate folks. So any way we can help you, whether we put the water feature in or somebody else did, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to us.
Live the serene lifestyle. See all that they can do for you by going to serenewatergardens.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can look at it at moodyonthemarket.com. We got all the stories about business, important people you should know, why we love Southwest Michigan and great things going on, and so much more. All right there. And you can also check out our Moody on the Move series. Zach East hanging out with the folks from Our Lady of the Lake. We also have our awards program that includes 40 Under 40, Best Places to Work, and Bold Women of Business. All of that can be found at moodyonthemarket.com. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
And talking about the Squeeze. A mid-November opening is what they're saying for that new eating establishment that's coming soon in Stevensville. Apparently, things that are good come to those who wait. Nothing good happens really fast.
Right.
Talk about a couple other old, what's the delay kind of thing? It's a familiar theme, and it's playing out once again for the hardworking, dedicated trio that's opening a new bar and grill in downtown Stevensville. The Squeeze is almost ready to open. They're going to open their doors to customers, they say, in mid-November now. They've been talking about it for weeks on social media. Yeah. The new owners, Sammy Schlutt and Kristen Fletter, along with their head chef, food guru John Howe, have been working for several months to transform the old Woody's Bar in Stevensville into a casual dining, family-friendly bar and grill. Virtually all the work has been done by the team and their families, except for the electrical and the plumbing, which requires a professional, and it takes time, they observed with a smile in a sit-down recently with moodyonthemarket.com.
Yeah, originally they hoped to open about a month ago or even earlier with all that, but final decorating and then touch-ups now complete. The Squeeze was able to get final inspections from the health and building officials late last week. Hiring of staff underway, training, all that beginning very soon, according to Sammy and Kristen. They say this will take about a week. So their conservative projection is now that the Squeeze will open mid-November. So we'll keep our eyes on that.
And that prediction comes with one caveat, a familiar one to anyone who's tried to open a Michigan business that serves alcohol. There's no firm date on the approval of the beer and liquor license by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission. It's so funny because they approved one in Benton Harbor that the Benton Harbor Commission didn't even know about and got mad about.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens in Stevensville. Anyway, they're working hard. There's a full article on what they're planning and what's going to happen when they open it up. And we've got some pictures up there as well. So
even a sneak peek at their menu.
Sneak peek of their menu is up there, so you can see what they're going to be offering at the Squeeze in Stevensville. Kristen, Sammy, and John, good crew over there.
Yeah,
had an opportunity to meet with them a couple of months ago when they were planning for an opening. Couple of months ago.
I'm looking forward to that burger because a lot of people are saying that it's a very, very good burger.
Yeah.
So
Howe's burger.
Yeah. So looking forward to trying that one.
And they've got an adult grilled cheese.
Oh yeah, man.
Does that mean like huge bread? I love that.
Yeah, it's just a big old loaf of French bread. It's just a giant loaf. Then you just put all the cheese in there. But no, that's I'm curious to see what's in that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So check it out. It's on moodyonthemarket.com. The Squeeze. The full article is up there right now.
Yep. And your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll catch you up with news, sports, and a whole lot more next.
We're watching over you.
All righty.
All right, let's play a little Would You Rather.
Okay.
Would you rather drive through blinding fog or blinding snow?
Fog.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd rather drive through fog?
Mm-hmm.
How come?
Because the snow, you never know that what could be, of course, at both of those, you don't know what could be on the other side.
Right.
But with snow, there's a good chance if it's blinding snow, there's a lot of pileups and the conditions of the road are worse.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's another factor. The visibility is one thing, but then the road condition,
Yeah,
the
you don't know what
traction-
kind of drifts I'm going to run into. I mean, you could literally run into a giant snowdrift and be stuck.
Yeah.
Fog, on the other hand, you got some animals that'll probably be running around, but even then, I don't see a deer. Deer don't move around too much in the fog because they also can't see very well.
Yeah.
During that, so yeah, I would
Yeah.
go with the fog over
I'm
the
with
snow.
you. I think I'm with you because the fog, it can be thick and you can't
Yeah.
see at all,
Mhm.
but at least you still have traction.
Yeah.
And are able to slow down and not
Yeah.
worry about that. But speaking of deer and roadkill, there must be a shortage of deer in the UP, at least where we were, because the deer that were on the side of the road that had been hit, their ribs were sticking out because they were picked clean. There would be like 5 or 6 crows very adamant about picking them clean. I've never seen animal carcasses picked so clean.
No.
There's something else. I was pointing out every single one of them. Stephanie was about to drive me crazy.
Look at that. Look at that.
She was like, "Why are you pointing those out?" I was driving her crazy is what I mean to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So, yeah. But it's like, it's interesting. It's
Would
Wild
not- I
Kingdom
would
right
not
on the
want
side
a
of the road.
I would not want a road trip with you if you're going to point out everything.
Hey, look over there. What? A dead deer.
Yeah. You want to go to lunch? No.
It's interesting.
Spoil my appetite. All right. Thanks everybody for spending some time with us this morning.
We do appreciate it.
I do believe my mom is watching or was watching at some point.
Awesome.
She was harping on me for not wearing enough pink shirts, so I'm wearing a pink shirt today.
Did you tell her to watch? Hey, watch, see what I wear?
Yeah, I said, well, I wore a pink shirt that one day and then this day. And she's like, well, I didn't see it. And I watch every single one of them.
Aw, that's awesome.
So, yeah. So there you go, Mom. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day and we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.
You got it.